If you're here, it's because you read the title and you were curious either for yourself or just wanted to know more about my journey. So I'm not going to go through all the pleasantries, but hi, welcome to this channel. My name is Desiree.shanice. I post videos here on YouTube once a week on Thursday, so I hope you'll stick around. It's been 4 months since I walked away from my career as a social worker, and I still don't have a full-time job, and I just wanted to talk about it, like the other side of walking away from something. So first, why I left. I spent a decade in social work, and honestly I'd felt the pull towards something different for quite a few years before I actually left. I just sort of sat on my hands. I was dealing with burnout, anxiety, depression, just a lot of like existential angst and questions, and just like real life things that were going on, but a lot of things that were tied directly to the work that I was doing. And at one point I thought maybe I just needed a change of scenery, so I left one role and moved to a different one. And I've heard this story for a lot of people, but there was some initial relief, but those feelings came back, and honestly, they came back harder and worse than before. And that's when I knew that it wasn't just the environment, it was that I needed to step away from the field entirely. And I made a video on here talking about like why I was deciding to leave social work kind of right at the beginning of leaving. So definitely check that video out. I'll have it linked here and in the description if you want to check that out as well. But one of the things that kept me in my last job for as long as I stayed was wanting to have everything figured out first, having every duck in a row. But I finally came to a place where I understood that my well-being couldn't wait for that, my mental health couldn't wait for that, and I had to step away even without having all of the answers and even without another full-time role lined up. And I just want to pause here and be clear that I don't think that that is the right move for everyone. But I am not married yet. I don't have any kids. The only person I really needed to answer to in that moment was myself. And I'm aware that's a window. Like, I want to get married, I want to have kids, I see that for myself sooner rather than later. And I knew that any of those life changes would make me feel more tied down, more responsible, more like I couldn't make a move like this. So I just thought, if not now, when? And I wanted to make a choice that future me would be grateful for and proud of. And as an oldest daughter, someone who is literally programmed to do the responsible thing, choosing myself over security felt radical, but it was the most honest thing and the best thing that I could do for my health. So let's talk about what these 4 months have actually looked like. The first thing I had to do was just decompress and reset. When my neighbor's dog is barking. When I left, I was not okay. My mental health was in a really bad place. I wasn't eating well. My heart rate was chronically elevated. I was on medication for anxiety. My body was basically just manifesting everything I'd been carrying internally for years. So the first priority was rest. Just like a full nervous system reset, giving myself permission to not be in survival mode for the first time in a long time. And in terms of how I've been surviving financially, I'm sure people are curious about this and how to make this work. I did walk away with savings and a lump sum, and that's largely what I've been living off of the last 4 months. And I'll be honest, I was hoping that by now I'd have replaced my income in some form, so I wouldn't have had to dip into it as much as I have. And that's something that I'm still working toward. But here's what I didn't expect. Even with the financial uncertainty, I have felt more peace than I ever did when I had like a guaranteed full-time paycheck. Like, yes, I have moments where my brain starts spinning and like, girl, what are you gonna do? But my baseline is so much calmer. All of my needs have been met. I have not gone without. I have not been hungry. I have done fun things. Like, I'm okay. And I also picked up a part-time job, so I'm a front desk associate at a massage studio 2 days a week. And I'm like checking people in, doing laundry, washing sheets, refilling water, putting linens away. Very repetitive, very meditative, like wax on, wax off. And genuinely, I think that's been exactly what my nervous system needed. It gives my week some structure, and it makes me more intentional on the days when I'm not there. And I'm working mids, so I can still have like slow mornings, and by the time I'm like done with my work week, it's just 2 days in, And that shift in scale has been everything for the last couple of months. And then in terms of what's next and how I'm building, I'm actively working on building income streams that actually align with where I want to go. So that means posting consistently on YouTube so I can get this channel monetized, building out my presence even more on Instagram and TikTok, and growing my affiliate income through LTK, shopmy, Amazon, platforms like that. And I also have some things in the works under my business that I'll be sharing more about soon. Where I'm at doing the front desk work, I've also helped her with some social media work, which added some like an additional stream of income on top of the front desk stuff. Longer term, I'm open to freelance work. I'm not chasing another traditional 9 to 5, but I wouldn't close the door on it if something truly aligned came along, like a remote role that supported what I'm building rather than like pulling me away from it. And I've been rereading The Artist's Way. I read it last fall, but I'm reading it now with completely different eyes now that I've actually like quit my job. And there's a line in it that has stayed with me. I think it's in week 2, and it says that the moment one definitely commits to oneself, then providence moves too. And that has been my experience the last 4 months. I am committed and I'm watching things move and fall into place, and opportunities have come about that I don't think I would have ever like uncovered or touched or recognized if I had still been in my job waiting for like the perfect thing to come along. And there's like a little fire in your belly when like you don't have something else, like when there is no plan B. So do I regret it? No, not even a little bit. I'm definitely still in the messy middle of figuring it all out, but I have never felt more like myself, and that has to count for something. So if you're in a season of transition or you've been sitting on something that you're scared to do it, and future you will thank you. I promise you will be all right. Love you. Later.